Well, you're considered probably one of the most successful tattoo artists in the world, I think.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
All right.
I think so. You started a new way of doing biomex. You're inspirational to many people. People travel a lot to get your pieces, so
Yes, that's true.
I'm pretty sure you're in the top list of the tattoo artists. Well, at least in the tattoo industry, everybody knows.
I don't know if I should.
are.
I don't know if I should hear that. I don't know if that's good. I don't know what Okay, so if that's true, I don't know what it's going to do to my character just knowing that.
Yeah, but my question is,
please.
do you have some, let's call it success secrets, something that you would tell, okay, if you want to reach this point, you should do, or you could do something like this or that, or
Just don't be arrogant. To me, secret to success has been don't be arrogant. Do stuff that you don't like to do. You learn more when you do stuff that you don't like to do than when you do stuff that you like to do. You don't learn anything new from doing stuff that you already like to do. You already know everything about that. So...
And now
you do something that is hard, do something that is dangerous, do something that makes you uncomfortable. I think that if you're vulnerable, you're also open and you learn more. So that's definitely one of the things, like keep yourself vulnerable. Don't go into problems like too much, obviously, but definitely go to these places that are a little bit uncomfortable and keep yourself uncomfortable. Don't get too comfortable. And if you're already successful, it's really easy to get comfortable, and that's always the beginning of the end. Always. I think if you want to grow, you need to stay uncomfortable. That's probably the most important thing I can tell to anybody, just stay uncomfortable.
How do you connect with your network? They come to you, you go to them?
I don't really do that.
I mean, you're teaching
seminars. I do seminars,
so
yeah.
You ask,
but not like super
you ask
successful.
For that. They are asked.
I was asked
for that.
I was asked because I like to hear myself talk. So I talk a lot. I'm not very social, but when I am social, I talk. And then we have these talks like we are having now. Like somebody asks me a question, I never stop talking. Right? So at some point, people ask me, I think you should do a seminar. I think you would be really good at it. And I was super afraid of doing that because I have very, very high expectations of myself. And then at some point I pulled my head out of my ass and just started doing it because Jeff Gogway pushed me into it a little bit. He was like, so you're coming for a guest spot, you should do a seminar here. I'm doing a seminar, we should do a seminar together. And I was like, holy shit, that's a huge job, because he's so good at it. He's like intimidatingly good at it. And he's very successful in it too. And especially at that point he was. And I was like, oh fuck, if I give a seminar with Jeff Gogway, that might be a door into a completely different part of what I can do. Like, that's not tattooing. That would open a door into... So I was like, oh, there's a huge opportunity there. I'd be stupid not to take it. So I did it, and I had a lot of fun. It was amazing. I had so much fun doing it. I think I'm pretty good at it. I have nothing but positive feedback so far. And yeah, I really enjoy it. And I've been doing this for 5 years now, and it's been really, 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 like, it's been really rewarding, but I'm not super successful at it. My classes are small. I don't really do the kind of seminar that everybody jumps on, because everybody looks for the holy grail. Everybody asks, like, what kind of inks are you using? What machines are you using? What needles are you using? Yeah. Because everybody looks for the easy, like, they just want to have that taken care of, It's like, okay, I need to make this as easy on me as possible, so I have to have the best tools. Totally understandable. But this is not the kind of stuff that I do. I don't give technical seminars. I'm doing the kind of stuff that we're doing right now. I just want to give people like a different perspective. I want to shine a different light on things, right? Lux Altera. I want to shine different light on things. So I want to give people a different perspective, so they can see the whole picture better, so they have a better they have an easier time learning something. I think if you don't see the whole picture, if you're too focused on one thing, you kind of miss the point sometimes, and you misunderstanding it, and then you're only reproducing something while you could be creating something. And I think you can only create something if you understand it completely. So all I think I do, my seminars are very philosophical. You know, it's more like a talk, an inspirational talk that I get paid for. And I like doing that. I think that to me makes way more sense than to teach somebody exactly how I do something, because I don't think that's very helpful. That only helps them to copy exactly what I do, and I don't want that. So, right, if they get there by themselves, then that tells me, okay, maybe I'm doing something right. But if they just copy me because I'm told them exactly how to do it, that doesn't give me anything. And in the end of the day, I want to give myself something, right? So, because I'm a selfish artist.
I think we are. Every artist is a bit selfish. And apart from doing amazing art, there is. Do you think there is, do you have a key element to get customers apart from?
Oh, you just have to be really good at what you're doing, but you also have to, not only that, you also have to be really good at selling yourself, you know. And like, being really successful is never just one skill. Being really successful at anything is always a set of skills. That's why not a lot of people are very successful. It just doesn't work that way.
It's like Picasso. It was amazing marketing.
Yeah,
himself.
You have to be good at marketing yourself. That takes a certain level of arrogance. That takes a certain level of knowing yourself really well. It takes a certain level of also being humble. It's a fine line, you know. You have to be good at talking about yourself. And I'm always trying to be good at that. I want to be able to talk about myself, but I want to be able to talk about myself in a way that doesn't come off as aloof or arrogant. And that's a fine line, you know, because I know my abilities really, really well, and people who know their abilities really, really well is always perceived as somebody who is arrogant, you know. It's like, I'm a really confident guy, and you know, if you're confident, you can be successful. If you're confident, it's really easy to be successful, because people always follow confidence, right? So that's it. But if you're overconfident, if you're more confident than your ability allows, then people will laugh at you.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
yeah, it's like
it's hard to not fall on your face with that kind of advice. This is really bad advice to give to people. You know, confidence is something that should come to you organically by being good at something. You don't get good at something by being confident. That's never happened.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure it happened also to you. To me, it happens regularly that you talk with some artists and you listen to them and you think, wow, this must be an amazing artist. And then you go on the internet and you look at the pictures and you say, what the fuck is
it doesn't
that?
happen. It doesn't happen so often, but it happens every now and then. But yeah, that's definitely not direct. Like what I said earlier, you know, about staying uncomfortable, because then you learn more. I think if you get too confident, you start forgetting things. You start like your quality goes down. The quality of your work will go down, because you will start looking what you can get away with, right? That's arrogance. If you start looking what you can get away with to get more money with less work or something, I mean, that's natural. Everybody does that. When you need to be really careful with that, you know. So there's a very fine line between confidence and arrogance. And you know, I think a good way to stay online is on that edge, not fall off it, is to, you know, stay uncomfortable. You know, don't like your own stuff too much. You know, don't be too comfortable, you know, where you are. There is no such thing as you staying where you are. You always move in one direction. You either move forward or you're moving backward, like a pendulum. You never stay still. When you're staying still, you're dead.
We could say your mantra is something like, learn to be comfortable in your uncomfortable.
In your discomfort, yes.
Yeah, in your discomfort.
It's like a boxer, you know, when you stand still, you know exactly what happens. You always have to stay in motion. So you stay fluid. If you're not fluid, you get punched. It's really easy to punch a
It's
still
like Bruce
target.
Lee was saying,
Always in motion.
being like the water.
Be water, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not Bruce Lee, but it's definitely like I reached a point in my life where I feel like, whenever I get comfortable, I get arrogant. And whenever I get arrogant, the quality of my work is going down. And whenever the quality of my work is going down, there's a chance for somebody else to replace me. And I'm not ready for that.
I understand. How do you manage difficult clients?
I let them know that they're difficult.
Okay.
I make them uncomfortable. Or I let them make themselves uncomfortable, I really don't have difficult clients, though. Because I think I make all my rules very, very clear before I even meet them for the first time.
So maybe you can understand way ahead when a person could be difficult.
Yeah, and then I can prepare for it too. It's like normally you can already pick that up from an email. And that's why I like doing email. I don't acquire this is a good one, by the way. If there's any advice that I'm giving you that you should take on or anybody should take on, it's this: don't talk to your clients that you have never met through Messenger or anything that is instant. Like in person, that's the worst. That's why I don't like to work in an open street shop. You just don't get interesting work that way. And you don't meet people that you really want to meet that way. That's only by chance. That's by accident that you meet them. If you have a closed studio, then people have to ask you something. They have to write you a letter by email. Because in a message, there's been a study that showed that people that use Messenger lie a lot more than people in an email, because an email seems like an official, like a letter. That's like an official thing that you take time to answer, that you take time to read, and then you consider your answer, because you're not expected to say something back right away. You're formulating a proper response. So people are less likely to lie in an email. People are way more likely to be very, very honest, to be nice, and to be considerate. And when you write them back, they're also reading what you're writing back a lot more considerately than in an instant messenger. So my best advice, anyway, you have to find people that you want to work with, is to do all your interaction through email. All your first encounters, all by email. That's why I work in a closed environment.
Yeah,
that's because
it's
really hard to say no to somebody's face. To me, for anybody, you have to be quite an asshole to be able to just say no, I don't like you, to somebody's face. But it's really easy to tell somebody through an email that is. You can formulate an email, so it's really hard to misunderstand it. People read that stuff differently. You write them a letter telling them that you don't think you are a good match, and that you have to filter your clientele because you want to help people that are a good match, and that it's better for that person to find a better matching artist. Who could argue with that? But to tell somebody that kind of stuff to their face, you will always get a reaction that is negative. Always. Because...
Yeah, I learned to manage that.
Yeah. I mean, I can do that too, face to face, but it's always super uncomfortable. And it's never an encounter that always keeps me busy. Like when I have an encounter with somebody like that keeps me busy for weeks, man. It keeps me awake at night, because I always feel like, oh, did I hurt that person's feelings? Or do they not like me? Are they going to talk shit about me now? All that kind of stuff. If you do that through an email, it's respectful. So always everything through email, everything. And then I can give people all the information. I can copy and paste like a whole text that I wrote somebody else, all the information. I can send them a PDF about how I work and how I charge money and everything. Email is great, and it's professional. It's just professional.
That's
and that way,
advice.
you know, and that way you also you don't get bothered on your days off or when you're on vacation. You know, you can just have a disclaimer like, I only answer my email once a week, and then people can be ready for that. When you let your clientele approach you on Messenger, they expect an immediate answer too, because that's how Messenger works. So they already have like more expectation than you are expecting of yourself, and then you already don't like that person, but even before you met them. So I hate Messenger for professional interaction. I don't do that at all. Same with SMS and phone. Nobody gets my phone number. You know, that's for people that I already met in person, my clients who already paid a down payment. They get my phone number. They get my address. People don't get my address. You know, so yeah, that's really important. That's really important. If every tattoo artist would work like that, fuck me, man, then like people like not appreciating their tattoo would not even be an issue. Because that's when you put the client into a position where they have to do work for you in order to get to you. And that puts them in a position where you can have expectations on them. You know, you can expect them to be considerate, to be nice, to be patient, you know, all these things. And it just turns it into a better
interaction.
You know, it's probably the best advice I can give to anybody.
And this leads us to the last question. What would you suggest to someone that wants to get tattooed, but he doesn't know anything about tattoo? Someone that is really a newbie, someone that wants a tattoo, but he or she doesn't know anything. What would you suggest to them?
Be patient. Don't get tattooed yet. Just be patient. Don't get tattooed at this point, and just, you know, do your research. You know, just doing research is easy nowadays. There's the internet. You don't have to even leave your house. But if you want to be respectful, you know, if you really want to get a tattoo, but you don't know anything about tattoos, make sure you're not getting tattooed by your neighbor. You know, make sure you put a little bit of energy into your tattoo and do your research and find out what you like. If you don't know what you like, if you don't know what you should get tattooed, you're not ready for it. It's super easy. But if you know what you want to get tattooed and who you want to get tattooed by, just do it. Just go ahead, just do it. Get tattooed. Spend that money, get that tattoo, get it in the place that you want it. And trust your artist. If you did your research well, that's the best advice that I can give, because you learn the most by putting yourself in this uncomfortable position, you know. Like be uncomfortable. And if you get a shitty tattoo out of that, well, that's bad luck. You know, but normally like a pretty sure thing to say to somebody is like, you know, cheap tattoos are not good and good tattoos are not cheap. That just is something that just keeps being true. But it's not all the truth out there. But definitely go find an artist who makes you wait. You know, find an artist who's not like available right away. You know, write them an email and go to an artist that you would really want to get something from. Travel if you have to. Travel, spend all the money. Take all the time, be patient, mull it over, you know, but, you know, in the end of the day, trust your artist. Trust your artist to make a good decision for you, because you apparently have never made that decision before, so you can't be good at it. Tattoo artists make these kinds of decisions every day. Trust your artist. You know, shut up and just, you know, get in a chair, get tattooed.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Thanks to Markus for your time, your inspirational and profound message.
Thank you, man.
And see you next time.
Yeah, totally. Let's get tattooed.
Thank you.